Indifferent video game nerd here again, and boy oh boy do I have a subject for you. A Virtual Boy! Yay! You know, Nintendo's first stab at virtual reality, and you know, probably their last too. Yeah, this is Nintendo's most infamous game system ever. Well, technically it's a portable system, but not really. Okay, so let's have a closer look at this awkward looking thing. Yeah, stick your eyeballs into that and have a go at it. Thing is, yeah, you also gotta worry about the controller, where you're gonna put these lights here, and where you're gonna put the wires too if you're using an AC adapter. A little bit cumbersome, but hey, you get used to it. Especially if you want to play exciting games like usually when I'm showing off a Nintendo system, I have a library of 100 games to choose from, but not with the Virtual Boy. Yeah, there's only 14 North American games released for it, but the Japanese games you can at least play on it too, but it wasn't very big hit in Japan either, with only like 19 games released for it. Yeah, so that's something. Yeah, you can't exactly take this anywhere either. Yeah, so if you have fucking eye problems like I do, you know, you can tell by these fake glasses here. But yeah, my vision is already fucking blurry enough, and now I have to stick my fucking eyeballs into this thing. Okay, what the hell is going on outside now? Are the kids fucking acting up? Is the dog chewing up the furniture? Holy crap. And yeah, that's the thing. After you disengage from this system and readjust your vision again, saying, whoa. Yeah. You realize, holy shit, what the hell did I just put my eyes into? You're not really taken to a whole new virtual reality universe. No, it's more like you're taking a glimpse into what hell is gonna be if you fuck up your life too much. Oh no, nothing but red and darkness. Oh my god. But hey, Mario Tennis is kind of fun. To show off all those fancy 3D effects. Yeah, imagine, yeah, everything coming closer at different angles and all showing all those unique, yeah, three-dimensional graphics, taking you to a whole new world of wonder and enchantment and excitement. Nope. Just sprite-based gameplay that zooms in and out. Some 3D effects here and there. Ooh, ooh, ooh. See? That's kind of 3D-ish. Zooming in and out all the time. And yeah, that's another odd thing with all these 14 Virtual Boy games and some of the Japanese ones I got here. Actually, none of them are rated M. And that's fucking odd, because the whole deal with the Virtual Boy is that it's fucking red. You see red. And what do you think of when you hear the word red? Tons of fucking blood, especially if you're thinking of Nintendo games and that whole controversy out there. Wouldn't it be cool to play like Doom and Wolfenstein 3D and killing Nazis and shooting up demons? Crazy shit, but you don't do that in Virtual Boy. Let's take a look at some of the games that actually came out for it. Yeah, and here's some of the Japanese games. You can actually play a real version of Tetris. And thankfully, yeah, that one is actually much cheaper than the 3D Tetris they got here in North America. The problem is some of the other ones like Space Invaders Collection and that Gundam game are gonna cost you a lot more fucking money. So good fucking luck. Yeah, if you actually want to collect for a Virtual Boy, all I'm saying is, god damn, you're in for a hell of a venture. So what would make you want to buy a Virtual Boy system? The promise of virtual reality? Nintendo was smart and actually marketing this system. They spent well over $20 million to make sure that the Virtual Boy is the latest and greatest thing and you have to get it. And another way they made sure that you want to pick this system up is that they include a free Mario game with every Virtual Boy system. The problem is that Mario game is actually Mario Tennis. a very, very mediocre version of tennis where you just lobby a ball back and forth. You got a few options. You try to win a very boring tournament by defeating all the other players. Very basic stuff. It's not very fun. Oh shit, I got at the wrong angle. I thought the ball was really near me, but it wasn't. A lot of these games sadly wouldn't have been ported to like Nintendo 64, and that's because a lot of these games are like so basic and almost like glorified Game Boy titles that they would never be approved for Nintendo 64 games. In Mario Tennis, for example, you barely have any fucking options. Remember how you could play 4 players in Mario Tennis and why it was so fun with all the cool powers and everything? Well, you don't get any of that shit here. When you get a free game here on the Virtual Boy, you expect something with a lot more depth. Alright, so glad to pinball. Holy shit. Yeah, it's just pinball, but you get 4 different tables. Sounds real good. Yeah, not too bad. Here is Pan Bomber and Vertical Force. Now, Vertical Force is kind of cool because it's sort of like a Star Soldier-esque type shoot 'em up where you actually can jump into the foreground and the background with a semi-cool 3D effect that I've seen in Blade Eagle for the Sega Master System. Nothing too fancy, but hey, it works. And it's a fun game. The same with Pan Bomber, but the problem with both these games is that they don't utilize the 3D very well. This is not like a first-person shooter. No, it's like a traditional 2D shoot 'em up, and this is like a 2D puzzle game. And both could have been easily ported to the Game Boy, TurboGrafx 16 or something like that. A Panic Bomber. Yeah, this one's actually kind of fun. Very unique puzzle game, but I remember playing this on the PC Engine Super CD first, so it's not really a new game, but hey, it's still good. I liked it so much better when it was in color. Yeah, so here we got Telephone Boxer. Yay! Teleroboter, alright, like Mike Tyson's Punch-Out, but not really. Why in the hell did they just release Punch-Out? I know this is like a different version of Punch-Out, first person perspective, all new way to use the 3D controller, so it's actually one of the more Virtual Boy-esque type of games you can get for the system, but the problem is there's only 8 characters to fight. You can't really save your stats. Wouldn't it be cool to actually play this with a friend or something? Maybe, you know, duke it out in like virtual reality. But again, yeah, Virtual Boy, no link cable, no multiplayer action. So say you did have a friend that had Virtual Boy, well, tough shit. Red Alarm, Star Fox, but not nearly as good. It's free roaming, so that's not too bad. Yay! So Jack Brothers. Oh man, this game would have been so much better on Super Nintendo because some of the 3D effects are barely used. When I jump into a new area, it zooms in and out. Who cares? Yeah, it's a fun game though, but it definitely didn't need to be on Virtual Boy. A lot of these games could have been either on Game Boy, Super Nintendo. Yeah, believe it or not, kids, but there was actually a movie called Waterworld. It starred Kevin Costner, and it cost over $20 million to make. But the problem is nobody fucking saw it. Nobody fucking remembers Waterworld anymore. But hey, at least there's one game based on it. And it's for the Virtual Boy. There was supposed to be like a Sega Genesis or Super Nintendo version. But if you want to play a authentic Waterworld experience, you can get on Virtual Boy. Yeah. And how is it? Pretty fucking mediocre. And yeah, let's look at that cover too. Yeah, what do you think about Waterworld, besides it being a huge piece of crap? You think of Kevin Costner, you know, one of the biggest stars at the time in the 1990s. I don't think he's too big anymore. I think he's Superman's dad who fucking cares? But Kevin Costner was actually a big deal back then. Where the hell is Kevin Costner in this? And I played this game for well over 30 minutes, a new world record. And yeah, Kevin Costner isn't in the fucking game. Yeah, you can actually look at the poster, look at the instructions and everything. Kevin Costner doesn't have his likeness in Waterworld on Virtual Boy. I'd rather drink Kevin Costner's recycled piss than play this game again. Yeah, I know, ripping not James again, but at least he didn't have recycled piss here to drink. Alright, I'd rather play the game again. Yeah, I don't even know James does that anymore. Yeah, Virtual League Baseball. Yeah, when you're actually using the 3D goggles, it's actually hard to aim your shots. Okay, how close do I actually have to be? Because you really have to adjust your eyes. A non-licensed baseball game for the Virtual Boy. Not very excited. It's one of the few Virtual Boy games you can still get for under 10 bucks. And for good reason. Yeah, at least Virtual League Baseball had kind of a cool name. Yeah, this one is just called fucking golf. Yeah, much like the original Nintendo game from 1985, it's pretty mediocre and boring. Yeah, graphics are actually kind of good in this. Too bad it's still in fucking black and red. Oh, speaking of more sports, we got Nestor's Funky Bowling. So do you get any cool power shots or any unique gameplay here? No. You just bowl about a few times and yeah, watch the cartoony effects. That's a reason why you would play some of these Virtual Boy games. Sure, they're kind of boring and limited on gameplay and options and all that, but hey, there's some cool story about this. You know, this is the first time Nestor got his own video game, and it's on the Virtual Boy. That doesn't count for something, eh? Yeah, so all these 14 games are one player only. And that's fucking weird. There was even like a Street Fighter 2 homebrew out there, and it proved that the Virtual Boy could handle something like that. The problem is it was never released officially, and how do you play the two-player mode, you know? Street Fighter 2 is famous for its two-player option where you beat up a friend and all that. Can't do that on Virtual Boy, of course. And sadly, it leads me to one of the sadder stories about the Virtual Boy, is that one of the creators of it, well, it was actually created by an American company called Reflections, but who cares about them? But yeah, the Virtual Boy is actually the brainchild of, Gunpei Yokoi. So he decided to make this, more cost effective, like the original Game Boy itself, to mass appeal to a wider audience. Because if you think about the original Game Boy, hey, it was black and white back in 1989, and it was a huge hit. Even girls, even though it was called Game Boy, girls loved the Game Boy. It came packed in with Tetris. You got all sorts of cool games you can get for it, and it was very portable, cost effective. It was great. And the Game Boy successor, the Virtual Boy, is very bulky. It's not very appealing to girls because there wasn't a Tetris game launched with the system. Don't get ahead of me, because there was a Tetris game released for a Virtual Boy called 3D Tetris, but the problem is this was the last North American game released for the Virtual Boy itself, and then boom, get the bucket. So getting this game is actually going to be very difficult. So how is it? Kind of plays like the game Blockout for a Sega Genesis. Very rudimentary 3D, and yeah, not very fun. And it's much easier to play a Tetris game on the real console, where you can see all the action and you don't have to constantly squint it all the time. Okay, where am I going to put this? Why is it look so far away? Yeah, you get very disoriented when you play Virtual Boy games. You really have to immerse yourself in that universe, but the problem is it's all black and red. It's all dark, dingy, and a lot of the games are very low quality in terms of graphics. The Virtual Boy itself doesn't have a lot of processing power. That 32-bit Reese processor, it just can't handle 3D games like a Sega Saturn or Sony PlayStation can. Now Wario Land, now this is something special. Much like Galactic Pinball, this one is one of my favorites because, yeah, not only do you get that classic platform and action Nintendo is known for, but you can collect a lot of cool treasures in here. It has a save feature, so it can save like your best times and all that. And yeah, it even saves your progress. So say you get sick of the action, your eyes get sore, which will happen with the Virtual Boy often, you can at least save your data. And that's kind of cool. Very good platform and action. Yeah, if you want to play one of the best Wario games ever made, yeah, the thing is you had to play it on the Virtual Boy. Yeah, Nintendo never re-released this awesome game. I'm pretty sure Nintendo threw this game on the 3DS, add some of those unique 3D features. You can put that on there no problem. Like, this thing can actually handle 3D. But did Nintendo re-release this game? No. Not even for like $1 or $2 or something cheap. The only way you can play this awesome version of Wario Land is to play it on the original Virtual Boy. You figured, hey, where's Star Fox? Where's some like stunt race effects? Some that you actually utilize 3D on the Super Nintendo. Why weren't those games ported over here? Well, the problem is they were probably going to be ported. I heard rumors that Nintendo was planning on a Star Fox game, but they canceled it. Much like they canceled Star Fox 2 on Super Nintendo. Imagine how crazy people would have gone for the Virtual Boy if it had more popular Nintendo IPs on it. Yeah, imagine stupid tennis. No, we actually got a 3D Super Mario game for the first time ever and really showed off what the Virtual Boy can do. Now, kids wouldn't have cared if it was all black and red. No, they would have been marveled at the unique 3D graphics and the cool gameplay that something like a Mario 64 introduced for the first time. Even though Gunpei Yokoi was a very famous Nintendo developer, he wasn't able to get all the complete backing from Nintendo, and a lot of the R&D development teams, they switched over to like either working on Super Nintendo games or Nintendo 64 games or original Game Boy title games. And the Virtual Boy got all but ignored, and they only had a few games at launch. Yeah, the thing is, when I bought this thing new for $30 back in 1996, yeah, when you think about it, in 1994, Nintendo was saying, please buy this system. By 1995, they're saying, please, please buy this system. And by 1996, stores were saying, get this shit out of here. And that's why I was able to get a Virtual Boy for $30. Yay. Was it fucking worth it? Am I holding on to a gem? Now, I'm not gonna blow shit up your ass and say it's the worst thing ever. Yeah, Wario Land, Jack Brothers, Galactic Pinball. Actually, very good games. I recommend that you play. They're fun, engaging, and well suited for the Virtual Boy universe. The potential was there to be something awesome, and I could see what Gunpei Yokoi was going for and creating a very unique 3D experience like nothing else. But yeah, that's also the problem because there was nothing else like it. Sega was also going to invest into a Sega Genesis VR unit, but then they realized, hey, this is kind of fucking dangerous because they're investing into a full headset, and what happens if, a kid gets like an accident? Yeah, they're going to be sued up the ass. And that's why you see a whole bunch of actual warnings on the Nintendo system. And there's a good reason why a lot of people didn't buy it in Japan from the get-go, because yeah, let's look at that advisory warning on the bottom here. Yeah, it says for players 7 years and older. If you're an actual boy, you can't actually get the Virtual Boy. And that's so fucking stupid. They should call this Virtual Man or Virtual Nintendo or something like that. I'm a huge fucking ripoff, and I've seen other reviews out there on the Virtual Boy, but I don't actually have anybody comment on that basic flaw that the Virtual Boy is something that actually can't be played by a boy. Yeah. When I'm 8 years old, I think of myself as like a preteen or even a teenager. Yeah, I'm 8 years old. I'm a man now. They should call this Virtual Man. And because no boy can actually technically play the system. There's warnings up the ass about the Virtual Boy that it could actually damage or make you blind if you actually play for too long. That's why every game comes with an automatic break. You can shut it off if you want to, but Nintendo is constantly warning you each time you boot up a Virtual Boy game. Hey, you want the automatic break on or not? Because, hey, we wipe our hands liable if you get fucking blind or something. And that was a very, very huge problem with the Virtual Boy. Would you want to buy a kid a game console that could actually damage the retinas? No. And that's why, yeah, the Virtual Boy came with a huge cautionary tale when it first came out in the 1990s. Enjoy those slightly upgraded Game Boy games here on this fancy overpriced system. Oh yeah, and it also might damage your kid's eyesight for life. $200 please. Yeah, when you only have 14 games to choose from, you're gonna get bored of this very fucking quickly. Only 2 colors to work with. Only 1 player modes for all Virtual Boy games. Yeah. Too bad the batteries are actually not fucking included. If you really want to enjoy the Virtual Boy, play it at home, get an AC adapter, and yeah, pop in a few of those games and you can have some fun. The 3D effects are actually kind of unique with it. If there was more games invested to it, hey, maybe like a Star Fox 3D Mario, a true 3D Mario game, not that Mario Clash shit. Maybe the Virtual Boy would have taken off better. Maybe add in some like different colors, some improved, visual effects so the 3D doesn't look very rudimentary. Yeah, I almost feel bad about criticizing Virtual Boy here because Gunpei Yokoi is a creative genius and helped make Nintendo's millions if not billions. The thing is, he's also known for creating the Virtual Boy, and sadly he lost his life about 3 years afterwards. Yeah, it was kind of a shame to see one of his last products over at Nintendo be the Virtual Boy, because there is so much potential with this system. You look at all these games here. Yes, I'm holding the complete library of Virtual Boy games in my possession. And these games weren't exactly that hard to get. Yeah, you're going to be very pissed off when I tell this story, but I originally got Jack Brothers here for $2.99. But that was way back in 1996 where people were just saying, please, please, getting rid of their inventory, and they thought the Virtual Boy would just die in obscurity. But it didn't really die off. There is a market here for the Virtual Boy, believe it or not. Even though it's Nintendo's pretty much biggest failure ever, if it had more games, more popular Nintendo IPs, it could have been something else. Maybe add more color to the unit, because I look at that blue on the bottom and that's kind of a misnomer. There's no blue whatsoever in the Virtual Boy. No, black and red only. So, hope you like seeing red. Yeah, so that's Virtual Boy. So much potential, and that's why I'm kind of the indifferent video game nerd, because I don't want to bash it too much. Virtual Boy, I hate you. You suck. You're awful. But, yeah, had some good games for it, some good ideas, and Nintendo at least had the balls to release a virtual reality unit. Hey, some of the games are actually very collectible. You got the only Water World video game released here in North America. You got Jack Brothers here, which is the first North American version of a Shin Megami Tensei game, the Persona series. Yeah, that's actually a spin-off. So that's a cool little piece of history. Give the Virtual Boy a chance. It's a good novelty, at least. Yeah, so the reality is, If you see a Virtual Boy for cheap, why the hell not? Experience the unique 3D visuals for the first time, and yeah, you might have some fun with it. But if you see one for like thousands of dollars, you know, say fuck it, no way. Because you'll only be playing it for a little bit. You may not like the 3D effects so much. Now, if it was only called the Virtual Girl, then maybe it would have taken off. But you definitely have to have games that are more M-rated. Maybe A-rated, I don't know. Alright, now that's definitely gonna kill my advertisers here. So please, you know, look for me on Patreon and shit.